Hello, everyone. For a second, my mic wasn't opening. And welcome back to the RedSeaPodcast, and welcome to a very special episode of the RedSeaPodcast. I promised balloons, but I couldn't get them. Welcome to an episode that won't really be focused on anything, an episode that aims to be just a chat. I asked all of you to bring your best stories, whether you are listening to this now or after. Don't be afraid to drop what Olympiacos means to you, your best stories regarding the team, how you started supporting the team, etc., etc. Because that's what today is gonna be. For however long it takes, the link is in the chat, in the YouTube chat. Also, join me. There is a question in the live chat that should be replayed after regarding what's your favorite Olympiacos moment ever. The video you all saw in the intro was, of course, from yesterday at midnight, the absolutely incredible show that went on. I thought that was the most genuinely perfect intro imaginable. I'm not gonna waste a lot of time with promotion and stuff today because today is honestly gonna be an emotional, just open chat slash rant, both from my side and hopefully your side. So yeah, everything you need to check out regarding the show is down below. Thank you for joining me, whether you are listening now or after. Thank you for staying, those of you that have stayed for so long. There is some of you here that found me very recently. Of course, one of the biggest honors I had was to be on the Oli Fans podcast that boosted this show even more than I ever imagined. So a lot of you found me from there. There is a lot of you that I have the honor to call great friends now from Twitter that have found me. Of course, the Instagram following that follows me here as well. A lot of you have found me through the giveaway which, by the way, is still going on. The giveaway from uh, one of the three main jerseys of Olympiacos from the cursed Red Store. Go check it out everywhere, and one of the three main jerseys will be yours, unless it's sold out, of course. And the winner will be announced after the second leg against Bodo. Καλησπέρα από την κατακόκκινη Ελλάδα, πρέπει να λέμε σήμερα. Καλησπέρα ξανά, φίλε μου. Χρόνια πολλά στο Θρύλο, όπως έγραψα και χθες, αιώνιος έφηβος ετών 100. Και εννοείται πως ούτε τα 100, ούτε τα 200, ούτε τα 300 δεν είναι αρκετά. Γιατί ο έφηβος, ο Θρύλος, ο Δαφνός Στεφανωμένος θα είναι αιώνιος. Όπως και μακάρι αυτή η εκπομπή. Στα 200 χρόνια της ομάδας θα είναι της προκοπής στο Red Store. Το Red Store δεν θα είναι της προκοπής ούτε στα 800 χρόνια της ομάδας. Εντάξει, μιλάμε για μεγάλη μήλα. Έτσι. Έχουμε φάει πολύ μεγάλη μήλα με τις φανέλες. The Red Store is cursed. It's absolutely cursed. Even today was, of course, Twitter had to keep crashing today. Today was, of course, the day that they decided to restock around midday. where everyone was outside, I just randomly checked the restaurant and I saw that there was stock from small to double XL, and I'm like, I froze and I started putting in my credentials, and then even before I finished putting in my credentials, stock is out. It's sold out again. In in what it sounds like a bad joke. Uh, in what universe does an organization, team, store, or not know that there are countless amounts of people uh, that want to give them hundreds and hundreds of dollars, and they just don't. They organize it so badly. Δεν είμαι εξωτερικό, fun fact. Το παιδί με το οποίο κάνω την εκπομπή είναι από το εξωτερικό, από την Αμερική. Εγώ είμαι στο Ματουλίκου, κάνει νογοτάτα. Εγώ είμαι Πειραιώτης. Μένω Πειραιά, έχω μεγαλώσει Πειραιά. Και θα το πω, επειδή καταλαβαίνω ότι έχω να το πω καιρό. Η εκπομπή γίνεται κατά κύριο λόγο στα αγγλικά. Με σκοπό, και η εκπομπή γίνεται και από εμένα που είμαι Πειραιώτης. Και τον Γκάλ, ο οποίος είναι Αμερικάνος, για να ενώσουμε και τους Ολυμπιακούς που είναι εκτός Ελλάδας. Γιατί άμα κάτσεις και το ψάξεις λίγο, οι Ολυμπιακοί που είναι εκτός Ελλάδας, Αμερική, Καναδά, μέχρι και μέσα στην Ευρώπη, αλλά αυτοί οι περισσότεροι είναι Έλληνες. Αμερική, Καναδά, Βραζιλία, Ασία, Αυστραλία. Αυτή η εκπομπή επίσης έχει καταφέρει να φέρει άτομα σε αυτή την οικογένεια του Ολυμπιακού. Από πέρσι με την Άστον Βίλα, πολλοί Άγγλοι έχουν αρχίσει να ακολουθούν τον Ολυμπιακό μέσα από αυτή την εκπομπή. Γι' αυτό η εκπομπή είναι κατά κύριο λόγο στα αγγλικά. Εγώ είμαι Έλληνα, Πειραιώτης μέχρι το κόκαλο. Καλησπέρα, και εσύ πρέπει να λες από την κατακόκκινη Σαλαμίνα, γιατί η Σαλαμίνα δεν είναι τίποτα άλλο παρά κόκκινη και δεν θα είναι ποτέ τίποτα άλλο παρά κόκκινη. Αλλά ναι, και για όσους δεν το ξέρανε και για όσους βλέπουν τώρα και για όσους βλέπουν και ακούνε μετά, γι' αυτό η εκπομπή είναι κατά κύριο λόγο στα αγγλικά. Γιατί γενικά ο σκοπός μου ήταν να ενώσω όλον τον κόσμο του Ολυμπιακού, είτε Έλληνες είτε μη, και να δώσω μια πλατφόρμα στην οποία μπορεί να λέει ο καθένας τη γνώμη του χωρίς να τον νοιάζει τι θα πουν οι άλλοι. Χωρίς να φοβάται blog, χωρίς να φοβάται κριτική, χωρίς να φοβάται τίποτα. Και αυτό έχει γίνει σε μεγάλο βαθμό. Και γι' αυτό το χαίρομαι πολύ που σαν σήμερα είναι και ο ένας χρόνος που λειτουργεί αυτή η εκπομπή. Και είμαι πολύ ευγνώμων προς πραγματικά τους πάντες, είτε τα άτομα που είναι εδώ από την πρώτη μέρα, είτε τα άτομα που, όπως είπα, με ανακάλυψαν πριν κάτι μέρες από την εκπομπή του Σότου, που αν θυμηθώ, Fans Podcast, αν θυμηθώ θα το βάλω στο description. Αλλά ναι, moving on. As I was saying before, in what humanly universe do you handle such a historical event and a jersey that you know will make you thousands at the minimum so badly? How do you restock when you know everyone is out celebrating your team's 100th year anniversary? It's insane. And of course, the day we needed to have confirmation, Twitter just fell apart. According to Elon, it's some sort of cyber attack against Twitter. I don't really believe it. And as many people said, And as I went on to add, just sell the damn thing. For God's sake, the app has been ruined. Λοιπόν, πριν αρχίσω, αυτό που ζήτησα είναι να μου πείτε όλοι την αγαπημένη σας ουσιαστικά ιστορία περί Ολυμπιακού. Πώς αρχίσατε να παρακολουθείτε, πώς ανακαλύψατε την ομάδα, τι αγαπάτε από την ομάδα, τον αγαπημένο σας παίχτη κλπ. Your favorite thing about Olympiacos in general, and how you started supporting the team. And from all of your comments here on Instagram, on Twitter, of course, you can message me to ask me whatever. I've said that many times. Message me, comment freely. This is a judgment-free platform, and it will continue to be a judgment-free platform no matter what. No matter what the hell happens. But I'll start. I'll start because why not, honestly. How I started supporting Olympiacos is a very, very funny story. For those of you that know me a bit more, that started talking to me more outside the show as well, you know that I've been playing basketball most of my life. I've been playing from when I was 8 up until when I was 19, 18, and then just fucked my leg, and then the finals were happening, and I played at the other team of Piraeus, played at Ethnikos. And of course, my late great grandpa was massive fan of Ethnikos, and most of my family. The only man that's not an Ethnikos fan in my family is my father. My father is diehard Olympiacos, but he's surprisingly not the reason that I became an Olympiacos fan. Of course, I loved all sports ever since I was a baby, but unlike the rest of my family, my father really let me research everything. And while playing, while having connection to the academy that I was playing for, of course, even from the age of before starting to play for the academy, uh, I started loving Olympiacos. I started getting drawn to Olympiacos. Of course, there are photos of me somewhere with small uh, Olympiacos jersey, uh, hats, scarves like this one. Even though this, for those of you that don't know the story, this I bought at the second leg against Villa, and after that, it's been my lucky scarf. That's why it's a main part of the show as well. But yes, ever since I was very young, I was more or less presented with a decision. But the red drew me ever since I was like 4. So safe to say I made the correct choice back then. But yes, I've forever loved this thing. I'm sure ever since I was a baby, but from what memory serves me, ever since I was 4, 5 years old. One of my main first memories uh, regarding the team, and one of the first games, major games of our history that I watched and remember my reactions exactly, of course, is the Manchester United victory back in 2014 when I was 10. Someone correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure it was 2014. Let me actually correct my own mistakes before I completely screw up. Yeah, the 2013-14 season, February 2014. I am spot on. Thank God. That's one of my first major Olympiacos memories. And I feel like that will forever be one of my major Olympiacos memories because that atmosphere, that game, that victory, sort of reinforced the love I already had for the team, and it's one of the main moments uh, that reinforced the adoration and admiration that I have for the team that's now made sure one of my dreams is slowly coming true. Of course, as everyone, I had the dream to play for Olympiacos when I was younger, but the fact that I would be able to represent Olympiacos not only on a Greek level, but to be able to connect Olympiacos fans and give them what I was seeking for ever since I was young will forever be something I am extremely and eternally grateful for. One more of my uh, major, incredible memories is, of course, meeting the man that got voted as the top athlete of Olympiacos history. Let me actually bring it up. I do have an image. Let me actually slowly bring it up. There it is. The man that got voted the top athlete of Olympiacos history, and that, of course, is Vasilis Spanoulis. Met the man before training when we were training at the Peace and Friendship Stadium as well. And honestly, kindest dude. uh, Stopped before training to take a photo. I still have that photo in my phone. I have that photo somewhere. Perhaps one day it will see the light of day, but Christ above, I do not want it to right now. I'm a whole different person. Of course, I was like 12. We're talking about back in 2016, I'm pretty sure. But seeing that man um, just next to me felt so utterly and completely surreal in my eyes, and it still does. Thinking back to that memory, it still feels so surreal that that photo exists. Of course, I've had many, many more joyful and insane moments through this show that you all know. Of course, I've been this show has been noticed by many legends that I could have that going back to that 12-year-old child, for example, I could have never thought that it would be a possibility for those legends to not only see something that I am working extremely hard for, but for me to communicate with them. That's mind blowing to me. Of course, before the show as well, I had the the pleasure to talk with some of the then Olympiacos players. Uh, to name some, I've met Madjaris, for example, up close. I've talked with Cisse. I've been this close to getting some jealous at the Karaiskakis, but I never have. And in general, the connection I have to this club. I saw a tweet earlier today that there is truly no words to say uh, to describe correctly how we feel about this club as fans and how completely different it is to support this right here and to feel this, to be a part of this family right here. And I couldn't agree more. My passion right now is talking about this team. And there have been countless times where I've just sat here in absolute adoration in what this club does, the atmosphere and stuff like that, where even I have been so utterly speechless. And as I've said many times, this is by a 21-year-old fan for fans. And switching back a bit, because as I said earlier, I have the honor to be celebrating both Olympiacos and my own project. During the past year, I've not only just simply met people, I've met and made and molded a community that follows me and supports me insanely. And as I said, people of all places and all ages. And I've been given some incredible advice by some that I will forever be grateful for. Because most realize that this Olympiacos family, because it is a family, it's nothing less than a family, can connect you on a more personal level. And again, this is one of the goals of this show to connect people on a more personal level. And this show and the friends I made from it, of course, for example, Gav. Gav is someone I could never sit here and do this without. Gav may not have the time to be able to be here constantly because his work rams him on the daily. But the work Gav has put in during this past year, the help that he's given me, the ideas that we've both run through each other, the advice we've both given each other, the motivation, the the help he's given me back in the summer when I needed to take time off for surgery. The help he gave me back then, taking on streaming shows, taking on publishing shows as well on his own. It's I'm insanely grateful to him, and I can go on and name so many others. But of course, the many others that I can name, from people whose work has inspired me greatly to people who I've followed before the show and now I'm good friends with, to people that I still see as my mentors, and to people that have stood by me as wonderful friends. You're all listening to this, and you all know who you are, and I will forever be eternally grateful towards all of you. Back to Olympiacos. Um, the spectacle of last night was incredible. I'm not really planning to touch on the Offi game today, but I will quickly just run through it and through some news because it's the least I can do. But I want to focus on the absolute spectacle of the game that we saw. And I want to play you all another video, if possible. Let me actually go check that out. It's right here. I'll just play you all this. I don't think that there is any better example of how much of a celebration last night was. Of course, on Friday, when we beat Partizan in the EuroLeague, we saw what Chef needs to be like day in, day out. And while I don't think anyone had any doubts, Karaiskaki didn't disappoint at all. Many, if not countless moments that deserve not only applause but gratitude. And for everyone that had the pleasure to be there, I honestly hope you enjoyed it to the fullest. I know people that went there with their families, with their kids. I know people that went there with their parents. I know people that went there with friends. Of course, I didn't have the chance to grab a ticket, but I hope you all enjoyed it to the absolute fullest. Because every one of us, whether we were at home, like me, or whether at the stadium, like any of you all that went and are listening, we deserve this. These 4 days, and especially ever since last night to today, we deserve it. We deserve this to the fullest, and from chanting Olympiacos 100 times to the absolute light show, to the live announcement of Jose Luis Mendilibar and his renewal with the club, which, by the way, just applause to Marinakis, because just like last year, he announces Mendilibar's renewal at such a crucial time in such an amazing way, ending such a celebratory night in the perfect way in the stadium and for all of us at our home, of course, to the incredible, to the absolutely incredible sense that our players were wearing, to the passion that everyone showed, and to the happiness that everyone showed. Of course, the one thing that I can, actually, the two main things that I can point out is that photo, that moment of Retsos smiling, realizing that he's living his dream and ours. Retsos having the armband yesterday at the most historic anniversary of this club was no accident. Retsos is a kid that's given his life to Olympiacos, that yes, tried his luck outside of Greece, but came back and has been another scapegoat that's heard both the best and the worst, but still fought on with an absolute smile, that sat here and improved his game to the fullest, and that's such a deserved captain of Olympiacos. And speaking from my heart at least, I absolutely love the guy, and he deserves the world. He really does, and I would love to have him on the show someday. Just as everyone, of course, but for a kid that's got brought up in the red and white family and that's fought for his place day in and day out, that loves the club, that loves football, him captaining yesterday was no coincidence. It was meant to be. And another thing that I do really want to point out is that on our 100-year anniversary game, almost more than half of our starting 11 was full of academy kids. If only Kostulas wasn't hurt. Honestly, if only Kostulas wasn't hurt. Solakis, Retsos, Mouzakidis, uh, the debutant that really had the throwback uh, 80s football player look. Uh, and let me check if I'm not forgetting anyone, honestly. Papaganellos, of course. I massive apologies for forgetting to mention Papaganellos, but a lot of things are running uh, through my head. So yes, it was. Let me release them. Zolakis, Retsos, uh, Papaganellos, Lolis, Mouzakitis, and honestly, it's such another reason to admire this club and to admire where we have gotten. Even comparable to like 2 years ago when we were changing coaches by the minute, it felt like playing five of our academy kids. Let me list them off again. Zolakis, Lolis, Mozakitis, Papaganellos, Retsos. And again, if only Kostulas wasn't in. And just showing not only trust to these kids, but showing them that from Retsos, who's given all to this club and played at the first team for many years, to Lolis, who got his debut at such a historic night. It's not only trust, and it's not only showing that we have such a bright future ahead of us, it's showing that these kids are one of, if not the main reason of Olympiacos' golden and legendary history. And honestly, personally, I think I speak for everyone, honestly couldn't be happier. And of course, the game ended with a win from Rodiney's converted penalty from that fatality tackle that Luis hit him with. Celebratory win, especially given everyone else decided to hand Olympiacos their birthday gift with Panathinaikos and Ike drawing and Pauk losing to relegation threatened Califea and maybe even keeping them in the Super League. The Pauk could have lost badly, Jesus Christ. Olympiacos stand high and mighty before the playoffs, before we open up the Karaiskakis against Panathinaikos, and Olympiacos will keep standing alone at a +7 from Ike, +10 from Panathinaikos, and +14 from PAOK. It's done. Like I don't want to sound arrogant, okay? And maybe it's the positivity of today that went and did it all for me, but I feel like it's done. We open up with Panathinaikos at the Karaiskaki. I don't see us losing there, but it's Panathinaikos, so who knows? They may refer either way to a draw. PAOK couldn't worry me less. I think we're getting two easy victories with the slumped morality of PAOK. Again, victories may not be that easy, but even if we open up with a win against AEK, then even if they've won their openers as well, and the difference is still plus 7, then it goes to 10, then it's done. Then it's almost officially done. I don't see us losing this league. Knock on wood of both godly course. But I'm landing this wild rant somewhere. Praising the players, of course, because from the first to the last of this team, they know where they are. And they show the absolute respect that Olympiacos deserves. But Mendilibar, the work Mendilibar has done in a year is insane. And with the probable double coming, Mendilibar will, in my eyes, again, this is a personal opinion, and I've seen many others say it as well. Mendilibar will solidify himself as our greatest coach of all time, and with his renewal heading into next season, I feel like we have so much left to see, and this absolute high isn't even the top. And I know that there is an asterisk on that absolute high, and that's the Bodo loss, and that's looming over everyone's mentality, and I get it. But of course, even if we don't manage to go on and do it, το κι αν δεν γίνει αυτό στα αρχίδια μας τα δυο δεν αλλάζει. That's something will never change. Olympiacos is there and will be loved, whether it's a European trophy, whether it's doubles, the league and the cup, or whether it's both. But I believe we'll do it. I said it on the post-game show after the loss, and I'll say it again, and especially now with the news that I was building towards. Ayub El Kabi, Andre Horta, and Danny Garcia are all healthy and ready to play in the second leg, which is what we more or less were praying for. Danny Garcia is a surprise and was announced by Mendilibar himself because he was expected to be out up until after the national break. But with such a boost in so many different departments, with all three of them, I'm even more confident in saying we'll do it. Will it be in regular time and scoring 4? Will it be in extra time, or will it be on pens? I do not know, but I know that we'll do it. I believe so much that we'll do it. It's sad that Babis won't play, and of course that's a blow, but the boost that we got, the absolute insane boost that we got, is second to none, and it will get us over the line. And if we, or better say when, we pull off another insane European comeback, just like last year against Maccabi, I have a feeling that once again there will be no stopping us. But that's a dream, for after Thursday. But yes, I stand by my opinion that especially if we get the qualification, but when Mendeleev goes on to win the double this season, he solidifies himself as the number one on our coach's list. And if next year he goes on to do the same and fight in that UCL that we're so close to after a long streak of being out of the Champions League, and if we know Mendeleev, which we do, honestly, he can do everything. This man can do absolutely everything. So I'm expecting an insane campaign in the Champions League as well next season. Which, again, a reminder, we need to win the second leg to secure direct qualification, as long as we win the league, to the Champions League. We need to win that second leg. Ideally, we need to knock out Porto, but even a win will do it. I'm pretty sure, at least. He can just pull away with the difference to our second greatest coach of all time. It's a blessing to be living through his entire tenure, of course, with the best moment till the next one, being that Conference League. It's Christ. Even the ones who aren't with us anymore, I feel like are still celebrating, and it will be a page written in such golden letters in not only Olympiacos' centurial history now, but Greek football's history. And also, we can't forget about the Youth League, because in the display at the Δημοτικό Θέατρο today, the Youth League was there. And so were all the European trophies of every department of Olympiacos. No one is going to see such dominance ever again in every department. Of course, you can't go without mentioning the Erastechni in general, incredible teams like we've seen in women's water polo, in men's water polo, in volleyball, the boys who are at the quarterfinals of the Champions League in volleyball, because many people forget that in absolutely every department, even Manolo, for example, who just won his European medal, his European championship, he represents Olympiacos, and this family is dominant. This family is unbeatable, and this family is unstoppable. And being given the smallest part of it is such an incredibly huge honor. I don't want this to blow up because it's still in negotiations. But as we head into the second year of the show, there is, aside the giveaway, of course, that's going on. Again, do go check it out everywhere. There is an announcement that's brewing, lingering in the back. And that announcement will hopefully, because I know few of you will pick up on this. And if you want further details and you messaged me before, do message me regarding it. But this announcement that will come hopefully within the year, I'm giving it a very broad uh, range, will be an interview. An interview with a former player. Of course, I'm not going to say the name because nothing's official. But I want you all to know that I'm really working on this. I'm really working on this. And I'm going to work on more as well. So don't be expecting updates on that. If you want further details, of course, do message me. And that's where slowly but surely closing in on an hour, uh, I want to dedicate a slight bit of time to talk about everything regarding this show. To talk about it from the heart for a bit. Και απλά να το πω ως διορθώσεις. Και απλά να πω ότι πραγματικά σας ευχαριστώ όλους. Γιατί αυτό ήταν μόνο η αρχή. Πριν από ένα χρόνο δεν πολύ ήξερα τι έκανα. Ξεκινώντας όλο αυτό, για όσους δεν ξέρουν, είχα ένα πολύ μικρό διάστημα σε μια άλλη εκπομπή που δεν θέλω να αναφέρω γιατί τελείωσε με αρκετά κακό τρόπο και αποφάσισα να ξεκινήσω όλο αυτό. Σιγά σιγά έβρισκα άτομα, σιγά σιγά χτιζόταν όλο αυτό, μέρα με τη μέρα αργά. Και εδώ που έχω φτάσει τώρα δεν θα το φανταζόμουν ποτέ. Και οι πιθανότητες και οι δυνατότητες που έχει όλο αυτό δεν θα τις φανταζόμουν ποτέ. Και πραγματικά ολόκαρδα σε όλους εδώ, ειδικά σε αυτούς που ξέρουν ότι τους εκτιμάω και ακόμα παραπάνω. Ευχαριστώ πολύ. Και η δεύτερη χρονιά θα είναι ακόμα καλύτερη. Just thank you. From all my heart, honestly. Oh Christ. Emotional shit. Another thing I want to talk about is the last video I had prepared for today. If you all want to check out other videos, of course you can. In everyone's socials, I do want to play this and just admire it and add a little bit of it. I did accidentally play the wrong video. Just pretend you all saw nothing. These, of course, were the first fireworks that were shown in the intro video as well. But the firework display today was something different, something special. And seeing the badge, the name, the jersey, the eternal red and white just floating over Piraeus from everyone's house, for everyone that was there, for everyone that was not. It's just another spectacle of how much bigger than everyone presents us that we are. From all the legends that have with us today. Of course, not just the current players like Chiquinho, who was posting τα παιδιά του Πειραιά, from Julian to Pirola to Jolakis, of course, to Jolakis and Rechos, and know, of course, what it means, but to players that came last year, this year, and that posted how much of an honor it is, of course, to our honorary Greek, Rodinei. And then going to people like Kostas Mitroglou, Georgievich, going to people like Giovanni, legends up and down at the Sport 24 show, Foudoulis, Lemonis. The list is endless because the list of our legends is endless. Roberto, and the list of the people that leave this club as part forever, Omar, as a forever part of the Olympiacos family is endless, which again, which loops right back to the point I wanted to make, that this family will forever be special. Because no matter what department you play for, no matter what place you have in the team, no matter when you play, Olympiacos will always be above all. And if you give everything for this badge, Kopolidis as well, if you give everything for this badge, you'll forever be loved and respected and supported by a giant red and white army behind you. Today was incredible, and I hope that you all enjoyed every part of it. Ναι, αυτό, Καραπιάλης, Αναστόπουλος, Καραμπέ, Κοβάσεβιτς, και είμαι σίγουρος ότι και άλλοι πολλοί, πάρα πολλοί, μίλησαν για σήμερα. Και είναι απίστευτο πραγματικά αυτό. Είναι ο ορισμός στο τι ζούμε. Τι έχουμε ζήσει τις τελευταίες 3 μέρες και τι ζούμε όλοι μας. Πραγματικά. We're blessed to be Olympiacos fans. We're blessed. And I'm blessed to have you all and have your support. An hour and a half left of this legendary day before it hits midnight. I truly hope you all had a wonderful day. I truly hope you all rejoiced and enjoyed this day as much as I did. And from every day onwards now, whatever happens, we are a century of legacy, a century of legends, and we'll keep representing the red and white everywhere and anywhere. Η Ελλάδα κοκκίνησε όλη σήμερα και δείξαμε την πραγματική μας δύναμη. I love you all. I appreciate you all so incredibly much. Go check the show out everywhere. And year 2, not just the next year of Olympiacos, because we're going into year 2 of the show, will be 100 times as great as year 1 was. And that's a promise from the heart, and that's a promise from the red and white. Thank you all so much. See you soon. Thank you.